Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Instagators. This episode will be featuring myself, Issa Slow, Josh, otherwise known as 2J Josh, and Caleb, otherwise known as Caleb Watts 34 on Instagram. We will be going into a few different topics. There won't be any particular kind of flow to this episode, but I hope you enjoy nonetheless, and we'll get into it.
Josh. I have a black Toyota Supra, and I'm 22.
Yep. And how long have you actually have had the car? Like, how long have you owned it?
I've had the Supra. It was my first car that I got on my P's, so I've had that for maybe 4.5 years now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that's like, I guess, inspired the direction you've taken your car? Or do you reckon it's like solely something you've kind of thought about and created yourself?
A combination of both. There's no one individual car that I've taken a lot of inspiration from, but there's a few cars, I couldn't even tell you, I'd have to find pictures of their Instagram, that I've taken inspiration from. And just other random cars that aren't even Supras that I look at, you know, the way that that's built, and take inspiration from that rather than I'm going to copy mod for mod. It's like I want to see that quality or that style or that type and that aesthetic on my car. So yeah, there isn't one thing. I know, a combination of me wanting to create original things as well as doing things on the fly, like getting my ducktail molded. I think that's a standout piece in the back of my car that I didn't take from anyone else. I was just like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are. So yeah, not one person, but there's multiple things that have kind of influenced my car to become the way that it is.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well then, so a lot of people that have probably, I guess, tuned in or have been following the Instigators podcast from the start or previously before the start, because this is the very first episode, but all the other people listening in from wherever you're listening in, I appreciate you all. But as some of you do know, Cody was supposed to be our third person on the podcast. Due to some unfortunate events, he was busy tonight, and this is probably one of the only nights that we were able to record. So filling in for him this week, and probably most weeks that we do record, we probably every week, depending on how available Caleb is. You'll probably hear his voice pretty often, but I'll let him introduce himself. So go ahead, Caleb.
I'm Caleb. I own a black R34.
Boo.
Disgustingly wrapped. Bro, it's getting painted. Calm down. Yeah, I own a black 34. Yeah.
And that was also your first car?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I got the Skyline, I think, 5 years ago. I think, yeah, maybe 5, probably close to 6 years ago now, I think.
Yeah. And then again, same question, have you got anyone that you've kind of worked
me, bro.
off, or anyone else that has a black and chrome car?
I think...
Bro, don't lie, just say me, I'm right here, bro. It's not weird.
I don't want to say him. Nah. I think a lot of like my inspiration comes from, and because I think it's a completely different scene over there, but a lot of my inspiration comes from Japanese cars.
I would agree. That's where mine came from.
Because a lot of their stance cars,
Use the words, Caleb. Use the words,
Who the
buddy.
fuck's shouting on the fucking mic then, cunt?
That's your fucking mic.
Fuck off.
Every time you talk, it's like you're fucking shaking jingle bells in your back of your throat.
Yeah, fucking... Okay, mate. It's just your mum's bed shaking, cunt. I think I've taken a lot of inspiration from Japanese cars, like the people that build their cars in Japan, because I think the things they do to their cars are insane. They don't leave, anything untouched, and that eventually that is the way I would like my car to be.
Hey everyone, I'm Darius. I drive an 86. I have had the car for about 3 years. It has had many different stages. Unfortunately,
They
I
all
did
sucked.
half wrapped it. Yeah, I did unfortunately half wrap it at one stage. But that's long gone. And now
That was when
actually-
Darius had no friends. And he didn't know what the
yeah,
fuck he was
I had
doing.
I had some questionable people around me at the time. Yeah,
Queensland
Caleb's,
car scene, straight asshole, bro.
yeah, it's probably one of the worst. I actually found out the other day Perth has a car scene.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's got multi-millionaires there, doesn't it?
I didn't even know they had a scene, let alone anything other than like dirt out there. But
Yeah, because there's about 4 fucking people out there.
yeah, literally, someone was complaining about it on TikTok and was like, "Yeah, the car
What's
scene's
Perth?
a ruin over here." I was like, "I didn't know you guys even had one to start with." But
There's to be something there to ruin it.
yeah, well, I think a close second to Perth not having anything is Queensland's scene because it's just fucking terrible. All
Queensland's
the-
car scene's absolute bong water.
Yeah, it's fucked. The fact that I have to drive 10 hours to get to any kind of half decent meet once or twice a year is the only thing I look forward to from building this
Damn,
car.
bro, why don't you just influence the people that are around you and stop being such a drag?
Well,
That's
You're the
true,
reason
bro.
the car
Look at
scene's
actual-
bad,
That's
bro.
why
If you-
Sydney has a car scene, because of Josh, bro.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, Josh.
I'll be setting that shit.
Because you're a big trendsetter and that. But no, there's,
Yeah, I know.
if
Just ask
you-
Caleb. His car looks like mine, but shitter.
Yeah, okay, man.
If you look
Yeah,
at the
got nothing to
actual,
say to that.
if you look at the actual car scene in Queensland, there is quite good cars. Like there is some half decent shit up here, but they don't come out due to the fact that every single person in Queensland has a dog shit car, drives it like an idiot, and just has shit meets to go to. There's no good meets, and the only half decent one up here gets ruined because they try to make it private, but don't post where they're having the meet.
Bro, that was like the lowdown one. Lowdown would have been so sick, but like 10 retards rocked up. Like, who the fuck were half the cunts that rocked up? Fucking people that weren't invited.
I
Like,
don't
oh,
know
I'll
how
just
so
rock
many
up.
people found
no,
out about
you
it too.
weren't
How many
fucking invited,
how many
cunt.
people
Fuck
rocked
off.
up?
Because I don't know. There wasn't. I don't know where Caleb pulled 10 people from. There was like 4 cars that turned up that we didn't invite, and then that was it. And I think people. For starters, it's a public car park, so that's how people found it. But also, people were posting.
Yeah, I know. That's exact.
Like, I wasn't posting on Lowdown.
Well, a big thing was the
Yeah.
car wash. We met up at the car wash, and everyone went from there. And then, like as you said,
Yeah,
4 people tagged along.
but that's
from
okay.
there.
It's not that big a deal. But it's nice to keep certain things secret, so that way you can maintain quality, and also there's like a whole there's a crowd control, because
exactly
when
right.
random people turn up, it takes one person to fuck it for everybody else
Exactly.
that nobody knows, and it's not a
Yeah, exactly.
say it's a
right.
private event. One random person turns up, ruins it, and then everybody fucking hates these events and they stop doing them. Which is exactly why most people don't hold car shows and car events anymore, because people ruin it for
That's-
themselves.
Bro, it's the biggest reason why car meets are such, aren't a big thing anymore, is because they're just straight out ruined by, and it's not, it's the same kind of fucking people, and it's not all Commodore, like, in all honesty, it's the Commodore and, Holden and Ford.
Not every time though.
Bloody
Fucking in Sydney,
scene,
it's every
like-
it's every
No,
second
not every time, that's what
fucking
I'm saying.
financed S15
Well, that's,
on
okay,
stockies.
well, here is very... Yeah, so here is very different. I don't know about Queensland. I noticed in Sydney, actually, being in Sydney and driving around for the week, even though I used to live there, I noticed that every fifth car you see here is some burnt out dog shit Commodore. Whereas I found in Sydney there was no hardly
a lot
any
of Jap
Commodores,
cars,
and
yeah.
that was actually Subarus and Hondas. I found there was a lot of that kind of stuff in Sydney, and there was so much of them as well. But yeah, here it's just the bloody Commodores, and they're all the same at every meet. They hoon, they do skids, they ruin it for everyone. They put shit on TikTok, they put shit all over social media, whatever, and then they sook when everyone hates them and cracks the sads because they've completely ruined a good meet, or they ruin the car scene, or they bring highway patrol rock up to every.
I think it
to
just
everything.
goes for like it's the people that don't think one step ahead. Like yes, or 2 steps ahead. You go. Yes, you can do a skid, and people might look at you. That you don't realize that 75% of people are looking at you, going, "You're a fucking idiot." And then what's the next step? Then the fucking cops come. Civilians see. They go, "Okay, we categorize all of you as fucking hoons because you've all got the same type of car." And then fucking everybody hates us. It's fucking irritating.
I think it depends on like the demographic though, because I feel like the people, like for example, Troy Candy complains about how fucking often he's hassled by the cops, and then goes ahead and posts that video of someone skidding in front of a cop.
And he promotes like his literal whole thing. I saw like I don't fucking follow him on anything, but that like I think he did the snorkel. I feel like he just jumps on bloody every trend after it happens, and then like those beer snorkel things, he made them, and his promo video of them was some guy doing a wheelie on a motorbike, going like 80 kilometers an hour, drinking a cruiser out of it.
Yeah,
like what do you expect?
Yeah,
like if you're gonna straight up have absolutely no respect for the people on the road around you, and you know all that, blatantly have no respect for anyone or anything, then and you have cops, like I can understand, you know, whatever, he has his kid there, blah blah blah, and he's, I don't know what it was actually about, and he's trying to say that someone said it was drug related, but in all honesty, why would it would not surprise me.
No.
Like that's the kind of image he's given off to everyone of what he's like.
No, but he doesn't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, right? He's not doing anything. And I remember seeing on that post about him promoting the guy that was doing skids or whatever in front of the police station or in front of the cops or whatever. And yeah, no, but he goes, look, in the comments he was like, "Oh, watch this somehow be my fault," in the comments, right? And I'm like, but bro, you're the one you're supporting and promoting this behavior, which it is your fault, because people will go, "Oh, look,
it literally went viral
because you like it, and I want your fucking attention." So when you encourage that behavior, people are going to want to give you that behavior because everyone's desperate for that 5 seconds of fucking fame, which is exactly what that is.
His fan base is so toxic. Like, it's if you compare it to like, say like your fan base, Josh, and then you compare it to like Thick 86's fan base, who are like children. From like, I don't know if you guys saw like a few months back when that Tom kid crashed his McLaren on the track.
Yeah,
Caleb, did you see that?
And then
I saw that. I saw that. Don't worry.
So that guy had been posting on TikTok constantly saying he wanted to race Thick 86, right? And then Thick 86 posted,
really?
Yeah, like I wouldn't leave him alone on TikTok. And
wouldn't know I'm blocked by Thick 86 and everything.
Yeah, right. And then this was 2 years ago. This is the only hot thing we have. But it was.
Don't fuck with bald people.
So Thick 86 posted and was like, "Karma finally gets you."
Yeah, what a way.
Because you're chatting so much shit, right? But because his fan base is literally 5, they all cried and were like, "That's not nice."
Yeah.
Yeah, he posted up another thing, was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that, guys, blah blah blah.
I didn't mean to hurt my 5-year-old fan base. I'll do whatever you guys want. Anyway, here's a video of me fucking dosing again."
Yeah.
Like, fuck
But
off,
if Josh like posted that and was like, "Ha, sucked in, you suck," like no one would bat an eye. Everyone would be like, "Ha, that's too funny, Josh."
But it's also the demographic of what you're after. Whereas obviously Troy Candy is into his Commodores and shit, and that attracts that demographic, right? But and Thick 86 is willing to do whatever it takes to, you know, get followers, whatever, and to matter and stay relevant, whatever. But it just depends on what you want to target, and people put on a persona and will go ahead and put out this image of them that they will, what you put out, you're going to attract. And if, you know, Thick 86 is putting out content that's going to attract kids, then that's what it's going to attract. And if Troy Candy's posting shit about Commodores and skids and drinking beer and doing drugs, that's exactly what it attracts.
That's exactly right. Like you can go, oh, you know, if it's the same demographic, but at the end of the day, like don't get me wrong, I think Josh would have a lot of like younger followers and stuff, because people, like a lot of young kids, you know, like when I was younger, used to, like, you know, I mean,
you used to look up to me, bro, when you were younger.
Yeah, bro.
Really cute, man.
Shut up. Like, you know, like, actually, I mean, I can't really say that because I feel like I wasn't really into cars. You know, as a kid, like I didn't go to car meets, or you know, Dad wasn't really into cars, or no one in my family was really into cars. So I sort of got into cars through, I'd say, I think probably a big thing is I feel like because obviously when I was younger, I rode scooters and bikes and stuff a lot with say like Grant and all those kind of guys, and not Sean because everyone hated him. Shut up, Darius.
You're gonna have to go beep over every time you say fucking his name.
Yeah, I feel like a big thing of what got a lot of people into cars is, you know, riding bikes or scooters or any of that kind of stuff. And I wasn't really into cars, and I think the one thing that sort of put me into stance was actually Grant and Chippy, was seeing them, like, because I think Chippy had like an S13 or a 15 or something back in the day, like drifting and stuff. Like, I think that probably sort of put me into it. Like, I wasn't, you know, Fast and Furious fucking Paul Walker, like, you know.
Yeah, I think the way that you get drawn into cars definitely is represented in the way that your car presents, in a way that if you watch the Fast and the Furious, right, and then you go, fuck, I really like cars, and that is your gateway into cars, you end up modifying it in a certain way that people go, okay, you obviously came to cars from Fast and Furious. And then those are the people that have the stigma of GTR, best car in the world, Supra must be 1,000 horsepower, RX-7, I don't know what RX-7s are, fucking,
I think that's
fucking,
interesting. I
yeah.
think there's definitely different aspects of that, though, because when you look at it, like, as you were saying before, Caleb, like, you weren't really into cars when you were younger, sort of thing, like, nothing too heavy. But I mean, like, I always liked playing PlayStation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really ride like a skateboard every now and again with a couple of mates, but I wasn't too serious into it. But I was definitely Fast and Furious was definitely a big impact on why I was interested in cars. But
Which is exactly why you half wrapped your car and we never did.
Yeah, but then
we came into cars.
I think
from scooters and BMX, and you came in from Fast and Furious.
Hey, bro, you definitely were on XXRs at one point in your life.
I bought my car on XXRs. I bought the car on XXRs.
You definitely ran
Darius,
them for
bro,
a selected amount of time.
you paid money for a half wrap. You fucking loser.
We all
I bought
have
my car on XXRs.
But you Christmas wrapped your front bumper. You can never live that down.
Oh, you did.
Nah,
Yeah,
bro, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I have a
you
photo.
That never
you
happened,
did
man.
that. You did that.
That'll be up on the
lucky
Instagram.
Get that one up.
It's all good, man. Anyway, look, I appreciate the time.
No, but I think it's interesting going from that aspect, though, because I mean, like, Midnight Club, Need for Speed, all those kind of games, I think, is also where I kind of got the idea to half wrap my car, that it had to have some sort of livery on it. But I mean, definitely...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Definitely growing...
Shit idea, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely... Looking back on it, I don't regret it, because it kind of steered me into where I am today, and I'm happy.
Bro,
with
You got to
where
have
the
your
car
few
is.
fuck ups to
100%.
move in the right
Exactly.
direction,
It's something different. Like, you thought it was, you know, like, cool at the time. I'm sure a lot of people would have thought it was cool because
No one
you
did.
know, obviously, don't get me wrong. There would have been people out there that would have thought it was nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't. Be
Yeah, the
talking
Queensland
to this
car
nobody
scene,
right
because
now.
they're 15 years behind everyone else.
Yeah, the sex spec community thought it was cool. That was about it.
I think the biggest thing is I sort of grew up with scooters and bikes, was actually building, because like I loved like mixing, matching. Like, I feel like I always had an eye for what looked good with all that kind of stuff. Like, my bike was always color matched, like it all.
Yeah, I think
looked nice. My
customization
scooter,
starts first.
exactly.
Stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and I think.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing with cars is you need to have style, and some people just don't.
Mm.
Like, don't
You
get me
can't
wrong.
buy style, bro.
Exactly.
100%.
Like, don't get me wrong. My car isn't some people's style. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I could not care less. Like, I didn't. There's so many people out there that build their car to other people's standards. Like, say, for example, Thick 86. He literally builds it for 4-year-olds on TikTok who think that car looks cool. That
Yeah,
car
but
is
also no shit talking
ugliest-
aside. No, but shit talking aside, it's obviously something that he likes. That's fine. But it was interesting talking to Mighty Car Mods the other day at the work event that I was at,
Okay, man.
and they were
Come
saying, "Shut up, cunt." and he was saying that how the car scene's very toxic and stuff, and how he's like, everyone's saying the car scene's so meant to be so inclusive and shit, and we're all so friendly and stuff. And then he goes, but everyone's ripping on every other type of car that they don't like. Like, I can appreciate all builds. I don't like all of them. I can appreciate the amount of effort that's gone into Thick
exactly
86's
right.
car, or like donk truck or a fucking, I don't know, a drag car or something like that, I can appreciate that. Do I like it? No. Am I going to rip on it publicly? No. But some people do, and I don't understand why. Exactly, that's what you're for. Yeah, I can definitely appreciate everything that goes into stuff. Like, even, I hope the guy's not listening, but I went to a T-Way meet the other day, and there was a car there. It's just a place that there's a meet there like every Friday or every Saturday or whatever day it was. Oh, yeah. And there was a car there that was a Subaru, I don't know, fucking Impreza wagon or some shit, or a Forester or an Outback or whatever. And it was like camo, and I was not a fan, right? I'm absolutely not a fan. And one of my mates was saying, he's like, this thing looks retarded. And I saw the guy because he was standing there, and I looked and I was like, hey, bro, is this your car?
Indian.
And he goes, yeah. And I said, hey, bro, is this your car? No, he wasn't. He was white. And he's like, yeah. And I said, what's the go with this? And he goes, oh, I'm an airbrush artist. And I went, okay.
Oh,
I don't care about the car. I think it's hideous, but I can absolutely fuck with how much effort you put into airbrush this whole car to make it camo and look like a real, like a I don't know, 80s fighter jet style, like, you know, with the rivets and the fucking
the
shit up the yeah, like that. Like, it's absolutely
that,
not my style, but I can fully appreciate how much effort goes into that, and I don't think people get that. And shit's not fucking free.
I can appreciate like builds, but at the end of the day, everyone's like, oh, you have to respect all builds. You have to respect all builds. Like, no, I definitely don't. I don't have to respect shit. Like, I'll say something about someone's car. Like, I think a lot of people on Instagram know me as like
an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't say something about someone's car because I think my car is so much better. Like I said, I don't care what people think about my car. The amount I'll maybe get, if I'll roast, like, say something to someone, like, I'm really just going to rip on someone for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, usually they've done something and it's just like a retaliation thing. I get it. I'm the same, like, even though these days I don't post fuck all because everybody has something to complain about and I can't be fucked to keep up with everyone.
Yeah. But I think with, like with all that is everyone's like, I'll get a couple of messages, people like, a lot of talk for someone with a non-turbo Skyline. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. I'm on my P's. I bought the car myself. I literally can't drive, you know? Like, I have a daily. I can't drive turbo. Like, yeah, people are like, but it's not turbo.
But it's bro, I was saying this to someone today about no matter what you do, there's always something. Yeah. There's always something. Like someone was talking about my car being non-turbo, and then I said to someone at work, I was telling them, and I was like, bro, if it made 1,000 horsepower, they'd go, oh, how come it's black? It looks shit. Oh, okay, I make it white. Oh, it's got no wing, and I put a wing on it, and they go, oh, it's too low, and then I raise it, make it look like every other drag Supra, and then people go, just looks like every other fucking Supra. Do you know what I mean? No matter what you do, you can't please everyone, so you might as well just do whatever you want and piss people off on the way, and it's far more fun. I think one
thing that you said to me ages ago, Josh, was if you wouldn't go to that same person for advice, why
don't take
that criticism? Exactly. Who are they to you? And you need to surround yourself with people that have the same kind of mindset. And that's what I think. I'm going to name drop again that whole shit with Bam Media when he was like, all the cars at fucking World Time Attack are black and chrome. Yes. Every single one of those cars looks amazing, right? Every single one of those cars...
it's not like they were black and chrome Imprezas.
Every single one of those cars was different in some sort of aspect and looked good in their own, like, by themselves.
And that's exactly right. And, like, it's not what, say, any of us aim for, but think of the amount of people that genuinely appreciate seeing... Like, don't get me wrong, some people hate stance, some people hate power, some people like... I'm the kind of person, I love stance. I think stance looks very good. I love camber. I love big camber. I respect all cars like that. Like, I respect putting your car on the floor and driving it. Like, I respect that. I'm not a big power person. Like, with my Skyline, like, I want to stay exactly how it is. But I'm going to turbo it just to sound good. I'm not going to make power. I'm not looking to make any more than maybe 250 kilowatt, because like I've driven quick cars, like I know how quick they are, and driving that, like my Skyline, like that will never happen. Like, I don't need to have a turbo Skyline to I guess, what do you say?
What's the point of putting all this money into it if especially
Exactly
for all of
right.
us who don't even fucking drive the cars? Who cares?
Exactly right. And all these people like, oh, and like as soon as you have a stance car, everyone's like, oh, you do it for attention, or you do it because you build your car for Instagram and this and that. Like, no, I have Instagram to show like-minded people who enjoy cars like mine.
Internet friends is the only reason I still have an Instagram. Like
literally,
like,
the amount of connections and things that I got my job through Instagram
think where you
and
would
all these
be,
other
Josh,
things
without Instagram right now.
Yeah,
like,
I know. It's definitely had a huge impact. Do I live and breathe for it? No. Would my life be the same without it? Probably not. No. But would I still be alive and have this car the way that it is now? Yeah. It has nothing to do with social presence. It's all about Instagram's a borderline forum for car
100%.
people. It's nice to showcase your stuff, and people appreciate the effort that you go to do some of these things. It's nice to have
people don't understand that.
Yeah, it's nice to have positive feedback from the car. Is that what it's there for? Is that what I want from the car? No, but it's nice to it's a nice place to document your progress and look back at how far you've come with, even my photography all the way down to building the car and the friends that I've made and whatever. I've got connections with people that I never thought I'd be able to talk to all across the world, literally just through Instagram and a car. I don't give a flying fuck if I don't get a shitload of likes or if all these other things don't go my way or to my, for what I want it to be. But it's just sick to be able to network with people all across the fucking world. Like, that's so cool. Where else can you do that?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
And I think it's also
right.
And I think people just whinge and complain about clout and Instagram and a following and cars and stuff because they're the people that it's like if you can't get it, you hate on it. Like I remember there was a guy that was trying to join a car group. He was begging. They said no, and then he flipped sides. No, it was Honja, and then he flipped sides and he fucking fuck this, fuck that. That's all gay. Fucking blah blah blah. I want nothing to do with that shit. I fucking hate all these cunts. So it's the same thing as like not every time. I get some people look at the complete opposite and they just don't like the idea of posting their shit. But there's nothing wrong with doing social media. It's
showing exactly.
Yeah, but it's weird when people like Thick86, for example, admittedly go, I'm only doing this for the attention. Because then I don't want to be friends with someone that's not even genuinely passionate about the thing that I am so passionate about because it's fake. You're doing it for the attention.
One of the things is
doing it for the TikTok followers.
I get some people like putting up video content on like TikToks and stuff like that, and you can get a big following.
It's 100%.
Like,
it's cool. Don't get me wrong.
Gerard's videos on his TikTok, those are sick. I love them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're sick. But you need to think about how easy it is to get famous on TikTok.
I think
if it wasn't easy,
there
wouldn't be a girl looking at the camera and getting 6 million likes. It is the easiest thing to, I think, in our generation, the easiest way to become, obviously our generation is solely based around
social media.
Like it's a massive thing.
I think
I understand.
I think the next generation of car people that are coming up on TikTok and Reels, they're borderline not here for the car stuff because with Instagram before Reels and before TikTok, right? That Instagram was the biggest platform, and if you grew on Instagram, that was great. Like that's like, I've made it this far with frequent XYZ, whatever it may be, right? Now TikTok gives you the opportunity to post and get likes instantly, and it's that chance of hope that people will pump out TikToks and pump out Reels just for that crumb of attention because they're like, but the chances, and it shows. Yeah, people will just hop on trends no matter what, and I think it's really sad that that people will base their whole automotive XYZ around TikTok and the trends. Like, do you like the trends? Do you like the cars, or are you really just doing it for attention? And I'm not saying this as an outsider that doesn't use TikTok. I've absolutely done the same thing and put my I've done the same thing to get attention on my social accounts because it brings followers to my account, and followers means they're going to look at my stuff, and if I'm selling stuff and they're going to buy it, that's potential business. But I think some people just want the number next to your name, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm sucking my own dick, but having followers means fuck all. Like literally, it's just becomes annoying.
I think also like a really weird part that I think a lot of people in the car scene are trying to normalize, and I don't know why, but fucking if I put a photo of my girlfriend up, you do not need to go follow her, you weird cunts.
It's different when it's different when you're tagging them, because it's like, hey, go have a look.
But like, I'll put her in like in my bio or whatever. Like, weekly, I'll get a follow, and then the missus will come into the room and go, "Hey, do you know who the fuck this is?" And I'm like, "No, bro." I'm like, "No, who?" Like, that person just followed me and looked in my bio and was like, "Oh, his missus. I should probably follow her too." That's weird,
Bro, it's like that, like, and like, I mean, so my girlfriend's sitting right next to me, so she's like, "Oh, you post all this shit like on your car account, but you never post me on it." But she doesn't realize the main reason why I will never put her on it is because she would get so many losers that I don't even know, people I've never met or anything, just following her and shit like that. Like, it's not because I want fucking random car chicks on Instagram to not know I have a girlfriend or any of that. Like, it's literally because of the fact of
just
the
the
shit that,
weirdos.
say, you go through, or every
bro.
guy goes through with girls on. Like, bro, I remember, I think it was Miles did it once. And Miles, I think so. He did a thing where he tricked everyone. He put his girlfriend's tag on his story as like to see
who would click it.
I think it was just a name, and it was meant.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
and it was a poll, yeah. And as soon as you clicked on her name, it showed every person that clicked on it because they thought it was going to her profile. And he had about 100, 200 guys or something.
Yep.
And even like his mates, like close mates, that all went straight to her profile.
Yep.
And I find that like just.
I think the worst part about it is it's some of the most shittest cars too. Like, I'm more offended that you think you can rock up to my girl on rep wheels and ass fitment.
Bro, you really think she's getting in your fucking MX-5 on reps? Shut the hell up.
Honestly, that's the worst part about it. But yeah, no, it's definitely weird. I think one of the weirdest things is people won't admit that they've got inspiration from other people's cars.
Yeah, I think paying respect to something that you have taken heavy inspiration from is something that people don't do, which is it's style biting, and it does get a little bit annoying, because I've definitely had my fair share of that. And I'm not saying like, hey, I've made this style, you can't copy it. It's just nice to be like, oh, hey man, really like your car, it's inspired my build. That means so much, and like opens the door to so many things, as opposed to, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make it look exactly like his, and hopefully he doesn't find out, or if he does find out, I'm just going to say that I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, and I think that's really stupid, because I do that. I'll message someone like, there's cars in Japan that I'm like, hey man, I really love your car, it's inspired my build. They're like, thank you so much. And when people say it to me, it's not that it feels good, but it just feels right. Like, I feel like you should just.
It's nice.
Well, I don't know, like you know, cars are a very individual thing. I spend a lot of time and money and whatever into researching different things for the car that make it stand out, because this car is made to look good. I want it to look good. I want it to look different, right? So it gets a little bit annoying when I put all this effort into my car and all this research into rare stuff just for someone else to come along and go, oh cool, that's my idea now. Because that's the thing that really kills car scene, like the car scene overall atmosphere, because people want to be different and unique, and it's hard to be unique when there's people one for one copying your shit. I had it today. There was a Supra that looks exactly like mine.
Instagram.
I'm not going to do that to the guy. I don't want to give him a fucking shout out. But yeah, it becomes borderline frustrating, and it's not like you can't claim a color combo, but there's definitely certain things that I've done to my car that have made it stand out, and they're tiny little differences that people have picked up on, and they go, okay, I'm just going to do those too, because he did it and he went well, so I'm going to do it so I can do well too. And it's a little bit irritating and sad that people just lack this creativity, and you can see it in so many other things with cars, with photography, with fashion. You know, if someone all of a sudden starts wearing this, look at Essentials, bro. Fear of God Essentials. Fucking people start wearing it. Everybody goes, oh, okay, well that's popular. I'm just gonna fucking start wearing it too. Same as, I guess that's how everything works, right? Supreme and whatever else. They all just hop on this train of like, it's popular, I'm going to do it. And it's annoying being a car person when you put, like I keep linking back to, you put so much effort into thinking of different stuff, and trying to be unique, and then people just come and take that, and they take the whole thing, and they go, "No, that was my idea. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." You know, I think that's really stupid.
Yeah, and I think it's so weird that people can't even admit it. Like, I think one of the, like, for example, there is a BRZ up in Queensland, right? That looks really similar to mine. Like, I get constant tags and stuff in it, and I know it's vice versa. Like, whenever I post something, he might get tagged in it. But I always say, we have the same car. It's not that different. You know what I mean? And when people ask me about it, I'm like, yeah, we have the same car. It is what it is. But whenever I've heard from other people, they're like, no, we have different cars. Like, on their side, that's their view on it. We have different cars, but we don't. Same with you and Jay Supra. He can't say anything that he hates your car or doesn't like certain things about it. You guys have the same car. It's just dumb. You know,
No, bro, he has the same car as me.
I took a lot of my inspiration from Wokja, right? He hates me to this day, but also was in my DMs telling me how to do my
who'd you say? Wokja?
Yeah, Wokja.
Wokja.
Guy went viral, has a pretty
J-Rod in America.
Yeah, very, very, very cool car. Very cool car. I spoke to him a while back before he had a lot of his followers, because I built the same car as him.
Because Darius copied his car one for one, bro.
One for one. But I'd spoken to him a while before he blew up on Stance Nation, and I've got messages, of me and him talking, and him saying, "Oh yeah, bro, like, definitely do this. Let me know when you do it. I'll help you." And then I did. I revealed my car, blew up a little bit, Sammy, from it, and he must have got angry about it, and then was like, "Yeah, no, I hate this guy." Hasn't spoken to me.
Has he actually said anything to you?
I've seen screenshots and heard what he said about the car now. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. For all the listeners that don't know about this drama, it was alleged, and I say alleged.
It's not alleged. I have screenshots, and so many people messaged me.
He was accused.
Messaged me telling me it was true.
He was accused of messaging underage girls, which seems to be a common occurrence with a lot of fucking weirdos in the car scene.
Yes,
which should definitely be addressed by more people, and will be addressed by us publicly if you continue.
The thing was, he said this stuff to this girl. It was couple of guys leading him on, pretending to be a 16-year-old. They said, "I'm 16." At the start, it was like, I'm guessing it was a girl that he knew that they used the photos of, that he knew. And they were like, he's like, "Oh, you're 16. Yeah, nah, I'm not going to do it." And then the messages went on to him sending straight photos of him in bed, saying, "Come over," saying, "Oh, we can do all this shit in the RX-7, or, oh, we can do this shit in your car, blah, blah, blah." And then I was like, called him out for it. He's like, "Oh, no, I knew it was fake the whole time. I was going along with it." I was like, "No, mate, you don't give your address. Like, you don't send photos of you in bed. You don't send photos of your bed saying, 'Come warm me up.' You don't say all the shit that you said if you know it's people that aren't even your mates leading you on. You just don't say that." And, like, I have all these screenshots of, there's other things where he's messaged people that, I'm not going to say names, but some, like one of my good mates, he's messaged his underage sister, all that kind of stuff. And, like, don't get me wrong, people like him, well, it's fucked, yeah, like, and, like, I'm not saying I've done it, but him, like, he would look at that and be like, "Oh, people aren't going to find out." But all it takes is one person like me. He would never have thought in a million years, not even knowing who I am, that I was going to be the one to post it. Like, so he would have thought, yeah. And anyway, at the end of the story, at the end of the day, the only thing he really addressed out of DMs was the fact that I hurt his ego by saying that he faked that letter. And there is, like, I don't really give a shit, but there are so many reasons why I said he faked that letter, is because there was so many differences between his and people, we know that actually got the letter. There was just a lot of differences, and the fact that he wouldn't send it and then 4 hours later came back and then put it on his story after I storied my convo with him, put it on his story to say, oh, I've got it, and the letters were all off, and his name was off, and the date and the time, and it doesn't really matter. But
there was a few things in it that just didn't make sense because I got the letter and I know what it looks like.
It looked like he edited it.
Yeah, and the fact that he was like, oh yeah, I called the people and they said it's not real, so don't worry about it. And then the fact then he turned around and was like, yeah, they're just trying to get all people on social media. They're watching our accounts. And then he turned around. Yes. And that's the main reason why I went on and said, look, everyone, stop listening to this dipshit. Enjoy your car. Post it on Instagram. They are not watching your Instagram. They're not watching your social media. The reason these people got done is because they were getting dodgy roadworthy checks. That is the reason they're all getting called in. They all went to the same shop. That shop was getting investigated, blah, blah, blah. That is the reason why.
Yeah. Josh, did you have... Because you originally had that same letter before they had, like, the widespread. Was it the same guy that got done that caused everyone else to get brought into the same thing you did?
I know that I had been on the Highway Patrol radar because I got pulled over in a work car. I don't know, it was like 2 years ago now. I got pulled over in a work car, and then the guy, because I was in Bathurst, being a small town, I knew who the cop was, and he goes, I got an email about you this morning. And I said, oh yeah, what's it about? And he goes, that you were drifting in, there's videos of you drifting in an industrial area, that you've got underglow under your car that flashes red and blue like police lights, and there was something else. And these were all things that I had posted on my Instagram. These are all things that I posted on my Instagram. So I was like, okay, the police are on my account. And he was like, just be careful what you post, because he's like, it's very stupid to post some stuff on your account that is illegal. So that's how I knew that they were on my account, right? Which is why I don't post videos of me doing skids or anything stupid like that. You're allowed to have a modified car. Well, I mean, you're not allowed to have a modified car, but they don't care if you post about a modified car online, because at the end of the day, Photoshop exists. I could Photoshop anything on my car, or Photoshop anything off my car, which I do anyway. I got a bit of dirt on the back of my car. Sure, I'm gonna Photoshop that shit off. So what's to say that I don't Photoshop my car lower, or I don't even own this car and it's not even a real thing? You know what I mean? I wish I could do that. I'm not that smart on Photoshop. But the concept's there. But yeah, basically, I did get that letter. And I didn't know why I got the letter. Grant and I assumed it was because I left my car on the street and a highway patrol went past 3 times, and they sent the letter to RMS, and RMS wanted to have a further investigation into my car. And then I went there and I was interrogated by the police, and she was like, we're looking into this because, she read me my rights, and then she asked me, I think it was like 8 questions or something. And she's like, we're looking into... Or she introduced herself, sorry. And she said, I'm a private investigator from blah, 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 investigating the clearance of and rebirthing of cars illegally. A blue slipping of cars illegally. So I was like, oh, okay. And then she was, again, just asking, like, when you're getting a car inspected, where is it going? And all these sort of questions. And because they had suspected, because the car was continually modified every time I was getting pulled over, that they had just suspected this guy isn't getting legitimate blue slips, which is why they were like, we need to bring the car in and see that this car is actually getting a legitimate blue slip so it can go back on the road, because they were suspecting that I wasn't getting legitimate blue slips.
So we will wrap it up there. I do appreciate everyone tuning in to the very first episode of the Instigators. Many more to come, so I do appreciate everyone that has supported prior to us even starting this, as well as, the people that have paid on the Patreon. We did originally have around about 2 hours unedited, so I have spent a bit of time trying to work and get that down to a reasonable episode, but we will look to kind of do around 45 to maybe up to an hour, depending on who we have on down the track. But we will be reaching out to a lot of you guys, a lot of the Patreons as well, on what you guys want to see, what you guys want to hear. So yeah, I definitely appreciate everyone. If you have made it to the end, I thank you. I can't thank you enough. The other boys can't thank you enough. We did originally have a different outro, but we did lose that in the recording. I think one of the boys was laughing too much or something. I don't know. It was all pretty up in the air for the first episode. But I hope you guys are entertained, and I hope you guys come back for the next one. So talk to you guys next week.